Moving on, let's talk about Victor Osimhen. I want to say this about Victor Osimhen now.
6 goals,
yeah,
top scorer in Europe.
he's back on form. He didn't start the season brightly, but he opened his account in that game against Leicester City in the Europa League where he scored a brace. I mean, it was a huge statement going to England to score 2 goals. Where the whole, how.
He's always done well in England. When he played for Lille against Chelsea, he didn't score, but
he scored. Yeah, I think at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, he did well. So he's always done well in England.
Now, in the Serie A now, I've noticed that defenders, try to rile him up,
Wine him up.
In that game against Cagliari, there's practically an image out there where Diego Godin practically was trying to strangle him, like this choke. The caption was we put a picture on Instagram. The comments. We just told people to caption it. It was really funny. It was trying to choke Victor, as in he was on his neck. It was a torment to Diego Godin.
There was no red card, and they said if you put your hand to the neck of a player.
And this is not the first time it's happening. In the game against Roma, I think a defender tried to as well, annoy him and rile him up as well. He was livid. He got a yellow card in that game. In the game against Venezia, he was red carded where he shoved the defender. And some other games against Juventus as well, we saw Chiellini and the likes try to get on his face and all that. And he's managed to get out of all of that. And the manager have talked to him, how to control his emotions. Every player has different kind of temperament, and I think he's buy into that. He's learned his lessons, and he's on fire at the moment. So, what can you say about Victor Osimhen, his form currently, and what do you see ahead, looking at the end of the season?
So, for starters, Victor Osimhen has also proven a lot of people wrong with the run of what he's done this season. People look at Victor Osimhen and describe him as uncooked, unmannered, uncultured, just lucky to be playing football and have the talent to score goals. Other than that, everything about him is ill-mannered, okay? And I don't blame the people that are saying that. I'm very close to Victor Osimhen, and he can be very, very annoying. Like, Victor Osimhen can be ruthlessly annoying. Sometimes I feel like if I hold this boy in the room, if I beat him, that's the feeling I get. But if you keep beating everybody because they are being themselves, you will kill the whole world, right? What Victor Osimhen has shown, one, is a very young boy. It's not one of those people who will say, cut his age and went to Europe. Victor Osimhen went to Europe without even kicking a ball in Nigeria. He played only 4 games for a grassroots team, the only team he joined. Only 4 games, like 4 games. He didn't play up to 2 months when he left his own house and joined what's the name of that team? Now that Cochinedu's team. I've forgotten the name of the team in Ikeja. Okay, Ultimate Strikers. Yeah. Only 4 games or so, and he went to the under 17, and then he went to Wolfsburg. This boy has seen a whole lot. A boy who lost his mother as a kid. Yeah. Just when he was standing on the podium of glory, his father died. He came to Nigeria. He almost, if you watch that interview that I had with him, because that's the reason why I always give him understanding. He almost died. He went to Europe. First doctor that treats him destroyed his leg. Like his career would have ended. Like they did to Marco van Basten. So when he was not playing and everybody was talking shit that, he doesn't know how to play football, he was lucky on the under 17. This guy was losing it. Like completely losing it. And does not really have anybody to run to. It see himself in a sea of, like, everybody are vultures around him. People just want to use him. And then another doctor operated on the leg and he got fine. And then all the journey, traveling from Germany by road, last day of transfer, going to a club, got rejected, go to 2 clubs, got rejected, and last minute was in a car when the whole deal to go to Charleroi happened. And then from Charleroi to Lille, from Lille to Napoli, and we saw all the transfer merry-go-round. None of that kind of thing have happened for a Nigerian player. Maybe Mikel Obi, Manchester United, Chelsea battle. So you look at all of that and the man that he's become. Last season wasn't really fantastic. Yeah. He was in and out of the team, injury COVID there. He was suspended for partying in Nigeria. Whether it was true or not, nobody know, because people don't understand how Nigeria is. Osimhen cannot come to Nigeria and crowd will not be around him. And then maybe a picture of that leaked, because people do that, okay? A picture of that leaked and then they say, he was partying. Maybe he wasn't partying and nobody wants to listen to his side of the story. But what the boy has done and has shown to us, because now when I look back to previous examples, people like Eric Cantona, people like Edmondo, the animal, the Brazilian Edmondo, the beast, and Mario Balotelli. And then you look at Victor Osimhen, because it's in the mold of those characters. Zlatan Ibrahimovic himself, but I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic is an actor. I don't think that's not who Zlatan is. At least I played in Sweden. I know a little bit about that man. That's not who he is. Just the picture he puts in the press for people to think this is who he is. Zlatan is a well-cultured, matured, nice human being. But, he gives you that character. But I'm talking about the other guys. But Victor Osimhen has gone from, okay, he need a year one to a good listener. He's taking instructions. He knows that the defenders are going to come after him. That's the only way to stop him. This guy is an unplayable player.
It's so obvious the way defenders go.
So defenders look at it like, okay, this guy has temperament issues. Let us frustrate him. Let us be all up in his face and make life difficult for him so that we'll rile him up. He would pick up a yellow card, and then the second yellow card or a straight red card, he's out. One less problem, because Victor Osimhen on the field is not just one problem. Victor Osimhen is like an entire army playing against you. He's fast, he's quick, he's tireless, he's relentless. He comes at you like every minute, and then he's got an eye for goal. Look at the stretch where he scored that game that he won 4-0. The stretch for the first goal, the second goal will fine, but the first goal, the stretch for that goal, not too many strikers will do that. But that's how much he hungers for goals. So I think it's learned, and he's playing under a coach. First off, he started with Gattuso, and I think it's also a good thing to play alongside to have a Gattuso coach you, because he's a man who's been there, done that. But then he's a man who understands how to be temperamental. So I think going from that man, and then the club president, who's also a madman, a wild guy, is a showbiz man. Then to the coach that they have currently, he must have learned one or two things, coach. So see a club fight for you when they give you red card. Appeal it and win that appeal. Tells you first that they love you. They want you there. They don't just want to get rid of you. They want you there. And the coach must have told him that, look, this is what people do. Italy is a place where that happened. I remember Ronaldo da Lima. When people couldn't stop him, they resorted to kicking him, insulting him, saying all sort of things. But it didn't change him. That's who he is. He was a terror to people. When he was fit, he was a terror. Same for Giorgio Ponguer. Same for Marco van Basten. All of those players. The same thing. That's what they did to Roberto Baggio and destroy his leg completely. His entire knee was destroyed. So I understand that. But then we should give credit to Victor Osimhen for how he's grown, how he's matured from just being the player who doesn't listen, or for just being the wild beast, to becoming this guy who can tame his devils, control his demons, and go and do the job like a mean assassin or a crazy sniper who just stays there and knows that I'm on this pitch to punish the opposition, nothing else. I'm not going to let them get to me. I'm not going to let them rile me up. I'm not going to let them tear me apart emotionally. I'm not going to let them get into my head. I am here to get to them. The words of Imama Mapakabo always rings in my head when I think about situations like this. Imama would say, I would rather you go to bed thinking about me than me go to bed thinking about you. And I think that's the mantra of a Mamba. That's the Kobe Bryant mentality. He's come, he's made his mark. And I think that with the goals he's scoring and the way things are going for him, he's not hunger to score goals. He knows that if I keep scoring goals, I will be way above these guys who are trying to give me a chokehold, who are trying to break my neck, who are trying to hold me down, who are trying to insult me. Next thing they will resort to do is to racially abuse him. But I think that Victor Osimhen is big. People look at him as a small boy, but he's got a big heart. He can deal with all of this and even come out way better than he is. If he doesn't get injured, we're looking at a guy who would challenge for both the European Golden Boot or the Italian Seria A Golden Boot.
I mean, one thing that is so obvious when you watch Victor Osimhen is his desire to score goals, his hunger to score goals. Is there from the recommendation. I saw your post on Instagram and I saw Igalo's comment that his hunger and desire to score goals for him. And Jonogo as well, when you had Jonogo, when he spoke about Victor Osimhen, I mean, this is glowing reference from footballers who's been there as well. I also had a chat with him in Uyo some years ago. How filling the shoes of Igalo in the Super Eagles and all that. That desire is really not what you see in all number 9s. It's not what you see in every player on the pitch. And I think that is really a good attribute to have as a player who wants to succeed and who wants to do well for your club.
So let me add this. I was having a conversation with someone one day and he said, this Osimhen is an illiterate. And I said, I don't understand what you mean by illiterate. Okay, illiterate because you went to university. Can you run the play that he runs on the field of play? Because it takes educated mind to interpret a play and run it the way Osimhen runs it. Or you think because you went to university and somebody else didn't go to university,
what's his own definition of illiterate?
I say, no, they didn't go to. I say, you see, the problem with us is colonial mentality has boxed us to think that only people go to the 4 walls of schools are educated. The other people are
Even
not.
when you speak to Osimhen, he's very intelligent.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
He speaks so well.
Very articulate and have an understanding. He puts his words very well. But people, people come out and say things. And it was when he had that red card. So it's an illiterate. I said, no. The most educated person will do the same thing. When you get riled up, you react. We were in school when we're taught the third law of motion, that to everything there is an equal or opposite reaction. That's education. That's the highest level of education. So you can't sit where you are and say because somebody picks a red card, it's illiteracy. But that's who we are. We kind of like, judge footballers the way we want to judge them.
You are listening to Elegbete TV Radio.